What's up, plant fam? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jeff, aka The Vibe Space, and what have we got planned for today? Today, I want to talk about how I'm going to be taking care of my plants during the winter season, specifically talking about lighting and how I'm going to be watering my plants. And second, I've got some new planty accessories that just came in the mail. I'm going to go ahead and set them up in my plant room and take you along with me. So let's go. Winter can be a rough time for my plants. I've been a plant parent for more than 5 years now, and always on the other side of winter, I've had casualties. So when it comes to plant care during wintertime, lighting is gonna be important. Already during these months, there's already a lack of light. It starts getting darker sooner. It starts getting darker around 4 o'clock, 4:30, and I'm like, this is insane. So what I do during this time is a few of my plants, I move closer to the window so they can take advantage of the light that happens during the day. But make sure you keep them still out of direct sunlight because the leaves can scorch. Even when I'm outside, the weather's cold, but that sun beating on you, it still warms up my skin. So imagine on your plants, you don't want to burn your leaves, so make sure they're still out of direct light. I have a few windows that have a little filter, so I'm gonna show you how I set up my plants on the little edge there. If you don't have a lot of windows in your home, another way that you could provide more light to your plants is by getting some grow lights. So again, I've been a plant parent for more than 5 years now, and last year was the first year I actually got grow lights because my plant room has pretty much 2 of the 4 walls in my plant room all have windows. So it does get pretty good light throughout the day. But again, when it starts getting gloomy and starts getting rainy, that light is gone. So I supplement with these grow lights here. These are the Soltech lights, specifically the Highland track lights. I love these because they're not in the way of the rest of the room. So I'm glad that I can just stick them up on the ceiling. And what's cool about each and every one of them, I can adjust it. So I can point them up, I can point them down, depending on where I want to focus the light. So I have a few of them pointing up at the plants at the top shelf, some of them pointing down at the plants at the bottom. In this corner, I have a lot of plants down at the bottom. So in this corner, I have the, what is this called? The Soltech Aspect grow light. And again, I love that I can just hang it from the ceiling so it's not in the way. I do have dogs and toddlers, a toddler and a baby in my home. So I just wanted to make sure it fit my system and it fit my room. So I wanted to make sure I didn't have anything standing on the ground. So that way it won't get in their way of when they're playing. So again, this setup just works for me and my family, just because again, I wanted the lights out of the way, nothing on the floor because the kids and the dogs are gonna run around and be playing. So what's also cool about these is that I just hooked them up to some smart outlet plugs and I can just control them either on my phone or my iPad. So turning them on, I don't have to keep bending down and plugging them in. I just click the button here. So I set it up on my guess. I don't know what it's, I think the home system on Apple. And I just added them in the app with a smart plug. And it's easy for me to turn on and off. How long do I keep them on for? I guess it really depends on the type of day. So if it's really gloomy and raining, then of course I'll probably keep it on for maybe about 4 to 6 hours or so. But if it's not, I'll probably turn it on in the morning for about 2 hours, and then after that, turn it off before I have to go to work, and then come back. When I come back home, I'll probably turn it on again for another 2 hours. Oh yeah, don't mind this pothos right here. I know some of you are gonna at me and say, what's going on? This plant needs some water, but it's actually just some cuttings. I just transferred directly into soil without growing the roots in water. So maybe I'm gonna adjust it and take it out of the soil and put it back in water. So don't mind that plant right there. Everything else, really good. Now, not only is light going to be important for keeping your plants alive during the winter season, but also how you water your plants is going to be very important. How you water your plants in the summer is not how you're going to water your plants during the winter time. Why? Because 1, there's already a lack of light during the day, and 2, weather is not as warm as it is during the summertime. So because it's colder, your soil is most likely not going to dry up as fast as it normally would during the summer and spring months. I also don't have the heater on in our home, so that also affects how fast my soil dries. So when it comes to watering my plants, I'm going to water less during this time. Less is actually going to be more because you don't want to overwater your plants, because if you overwater your plants and the soil stays wet for too long, root rot's going to happen, and then all your plants are most likely not going to survive. No good. So when it comes to watering my plants, I usually wait more than a week and a half or so, maybe even 2 weeks before watering my plants again. And again, each plant is going to be different, again, depending on its location and how fast that soil is drying up. So I always just take a chopstick and put it into the soil. And if the soil comes out dry, then I know it's time to water. But if I stick it into the soil and the chopstick still has some soil attached to it, I'll probably wait a few more days and then check on it again. So let's go ahead and take a look at my variegated Epipremnum pinnatum marble. So when it comes to the chopstick, again, just like you're baking, I like to stick this chopstick inside the soil. And when I take it out, a little soil, if you can see that, just a little bit of soil stuck to the chopstick. So I'll probably wait a few more days before I go ahead and water this guy. Now let's check on my little Monstera Ansonii, little cutie here. I'm gonna go ahead and again, let's clean that chopstick. I'm gonna go ahead and take it, stick it into the soil here. Boom. And yeah, it came out dry, so no soil stuck to the chopstick, which means this guy needs some watering. Also, just by looking at your soil, if it looks like it's dry at the top, that's another good indicator. Another way that I like to check to see if my plants need watering is just by lifting the weight. This feels really light, so I know it needs some watering because the soil is dried up because the weight isn't as heavy. Another way you can water your plants, and one that I do specifically for my plants in my 4-inch planters or 6-inch, is just by bottom watering. So I have a lot of these takeout containers that I just reuse, so that way I can place the water and then plant my plant inside of the container here. So let me show you. So I got my watering container here. This is my favorite plant fertilizer, plant food from Happy House Plant. I've been using it for years. I'm happy with it. My plants are happy with it. So I'm going to go ahead and pour just some water down into the container here. Nothing too much. Again, less is going to be more during this time. And from here, I'm just going to go ahead and plant the plant right into the container. I'll probably leave it in here for about 5 to 10 minutes. And then after that, I'll go ahead and take it out. So it's not going to sit in the water for too long. And that's about it when it comes to taking care of my plants during the winter. One, making sure they're getting enough light by either putting them closer to the window or getting some grow lights. And two, watering less, either just by watering it from the top, but only a little amount of water, or second, by bottom watering it like the way I just showed. Now let's get to some fun stuff, some planty mail. Again, not plants, but planty accessories that I'm going to go ahead and set up in my room. So let's take a look what's inside. So what are these? These are actually little planter holders that you can go ahead and attach to the wall. I used to have my plants hanging from the ceiling, but I noticed when I hang them from the ceiling, not a lot of light, especially when I put it closer to the window, there's not a lot of light getting on top of the plant, so it ends up becoming bare. So I've got these little hooks that I'm going to go ahead and place on the sides of my wall close to the window, so that way more light gets to my plants. One of them is I think this one's for a 6-inch, and this one's going to be for an 8-inch. So what it would look like, it doesn't need a decorative pot. I guess you can really maybe find some terracottas that'll fit, but hopefully it should just be okay with a planter. Oh, a little sketchy. No, that's pretty good. So if you're gonna take a plant, because I'm starting to run out of room on my plant shelf, but I still have some hanging plants, and they're just either hanging off the shelves just like this. So I'm gonna go ahead and use these little plant hangers and hang them, attach them to my wall. But yeah, it's a good fit. So this one's for the 6-inch one here. And for an 8-inch one, let's see. I have this Cebu blue here. I'm gonna keep this one in the pot, but I just want to try it for the size because I do have another 8-inch Mandula that I want to. The Mandula I got recently. I want to go ahead and put that on the wall. So let's see if it'll fit this type of pot. Yep, there you go. Oops, some yellow leaves. I can go ahead and snip those off. But yeah, it's a good fit for that. So let's go ahead and install it. Just like my Mandula here, a lot of light is coming right to this part of the plant. So not too much coming from the top. So I'm gonna go ahead and probably hang one of those plant hangers a little bit lower on the wall. So that way more of the plant is getting light. Did not realize my video had cut out, but here it is attached to the wall. Now let's go ahead and place this big boy Mandula in its spot. So it came with a hanging planter, but I just chopped off that little hook part so that way it has some little stakes, so I can wrap a few more vines just around it, so that way the top of the plant continues to look full. All right, let's see. And that's it. So I ended up using 2 of the 8-inch wall planters. It comes in a pack of, I think you can get different packs. This one came in a pack of, I think, just, actually it doesn't say, but it comes with 1, 2, 3, 4, came in a pack of 6. I think you can get them in a pack of 4 or 2. I just wanted to get extras just in case I get some bigger planters that I want to put, or bigger plants that I want to put on the wall. But I've got one set up on this side of the kitchen entryway with my Philodendron Brazil, and then on the other side, right there, my Mandula Pothos here. And I think it looks really, really good. So if you're running out of plant shelf space, this would be a good thing to have. Thanks for tuning in, Plant Fam. Time to catch the Warriors game. And also, let me know if you have any plant winter questions down below, and I'll try my best to answer all of you to help you keep all of your plants alive during this winter season. Until next time, bye.